Hey, you! Before you watch this, pause the video and subscribe to SemiPro right now.
What's going on YouTube? Brian back again with another video, and a few days ago, Nick Wright came out and said that James Harden had the most to gain by winning the NBA title this season.
The player with the most to prove by winning the title this season is a slightly slimmer, more svelte James Harden.
Yeah.
Nick, tell us why.
And as outlandish as that might sound, I think he's right. And here's why. There are a few main reasons why Harden has the most to gain from leading his team to a championship. Granted, it is not likely at all that the Rockets win the finals. Currently the 6th seed in the West, the Rockets have a tough path to the finals. But I do believe Houston is the third most likely team in the West to get to the NBA Finals. I don't trust Denver in the postseason yet, and I don't think that Murray and Jokic are big enough stars to lead their team to the championship. The Jazz have their own plethora of issues. OKC is a little too young, and I don't think they have the star power just yet, and I don't think Luka can lead a team alone yet. The Lakers and Clippers are still far and away the favorites in the West, and it will take a small miracle for the Rockets to get past them, but if somehow they do and find a way to pull off the win in the finals, then James Harden has a lot to gain and the most out of any other player that has any realistic shot at a championship. First, he can improve his own personal career narrative. Harden has developed a reputation of a guy who can't win and who crumbles under pressure. In Oklahoma City, even though Harden came off the bench, the fact that they couldn't finish the job in the finals still follows him to this day. And the loss to the Warriors in 2018, despite being up 3-2, and despite losing his sidekick Chris Paul due to injury, only strengthens the narrative of Harden as a quote-unquote choker. And yes, Harden didn't put up the greatest stats in that series, and some people considered CP3 the best Rocket for a majority of that series, but Harden was the league MVP that year, and he was still the leader of that team. The second reason is justifying those MVPs. The Most Valuable Player award really seems like it's been all about stats over the past few seasons. Westbrook won in 2017 when he averaged a triple-double, Harden won after averaging over 30 points per game, and Giannis won with a 28, 13, and 6 stat line. None of the teams these guys are on made it to the finals, and none of these guys have even really been considered the most valuable player in the league, just the guy with the best stats. They just happened to put up better numbers than guys like LeBron, Steph, Kawhi, or KD, who would win the award almost every single year if it were truly the most valuable player.
There are no more yeah buts about Harden if they win the title. He has an MVP. He has 3 second-place finishes. He has a scoring title. He's got an assist title. He's done everything. He's 6th man of the year. He's done everything you can do in this league. If they win the title, Broussard, you start talking about him as one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Harden can put some more respect onto his name, put some more validation onto his MVP win, and on the trophy in general if he can win a championship, because then it proves that it's not just a stats award, it's an award that goes to a guy that can actually help their team win. Granted, this is also a valid argument if the Bucks win the championship, because then Giannis would receive validation for his MVP as well, but it's the same argument both ways. Harden can also improve his narrative in relation to other current players in the NBA. Right now, Harden is sort of written off as a second-tier basketball player. He isn't quite on the same level as LeBron, Kawhi, Steph, KD, or Giannis, but he could be. If James Harden leads his team to the title, he can finally be introduced into that group that has some semblance of an argument for the best player in the world. There's only one best player in the world, but everyone in that list I just named could make the argument for themselves, and a lot of that is because of winning. LeBron has won consistently, championship after championship. Kawhi has won most recently, and Steph and KD were the dynasty of this era. And then Giannis, he's the future of the NBA, and everyone expects him to win the next title. But Harden can introduce himself into that group if he wins the championship. And Harden would also likely have to go through 3 of those guys if he were to win the title this year. He'd have to go through Kawhi in the Western Conference semis, through LeBron in the Western Conference finals, and probably through Giannis in the finals. Do I think this will happen? No, but it solidifies Harden as one of the best players in the league. And finally, Harden can improve his historical narrative. He can solidify himself as one of the best shooting guards of all time. Right now, Harden puts up great stats, and he's grouped with Tracy McGrady, Clyde Drexler, and Ray Allen in terms of the greatest shooting guards of all time, meaning, once again, he's in Tier 2. If Harden wins a title, he gets introduced into the grouping of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Dwayne Wade. MJ and Kobe will always be better than Harden, but Harden could have a legitimate case to be ahead of Dwayne Wade at number 3 and could introduce himself as a top 3 shooting guard of all time and at least firmly into that argument, as well as potentially a top 20 basketball player of all time regardless of position. These historical arguments I think are a little more flimsy just off the basis of winning a title, but they were one of the main cornerstones of Nick Wright's argument, and I thought I'd have to address them because I don't think they're inherently wrong, I just don't 100% agree with them.
Because all of the knocks on Harden are about playoff failures. If he erases that by going through the juggernauts in LA, or the juggernaut and the alleged juggernaut in LA, the Lakers and the Clippers, and then beating Giannis and the Bucks or whomever comes out of the East, he is, without question, you start saying, is he the third best shooting guard ever? He's definitely one of the 20 greatest players ever. So he has more to gain, Broussard, than anybody else in the league.
The NBA is primarily a what have you done for me lately type of league, and if Harden wins the title, then at least for a short period of time, he'll be recognized as an equivalent to Dwayne Wade and as one of the best players of all time. James Harden will almost certainly not win the championship, but if he does, then he has the most to gain of any other player in the NBA. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave it a like, and we have an announcement to make. We're looking for another content creator on this YouTube channel, so if you have any experience in video editing or video creation, make sure to hit us up on Instagram. The link is in the description down below, and thanks for watching.